I'm a little nervous.
That's a good thing. It's a new thing.
Yeah.
I think to be nervous is okay.
Okay.
But you're not scared.
Well, I'm going to do it anyway.
Well, that's the difference between being nervous and scared.
Oh, okay. Life is full of adventurous twists and turns, including the ones we create through our passions, dreams, desires, and discoveries. In the Life by Sara podcast, join me and my guests as we talk about staying passionate and creative in the middle of all the chaos that is life. Hi, I'm Sara Ann Comte, and this is the Life by Sara podcast. Hi, welcome to Life by Sara. I'm Sara Ann Comte, and this is the very first episode. I am super excited for all of you who are listening in. This is a journey. This is something I wanted to do for a couple years, and I just kept putting it off, and here we are. So for the first episode, I thought it would be fun for you to get to know me a little bit more, and the best way I think for you to get to know me and what Life by Sara is all going to be about is I brought in my husband, Scott Comte, to kind of interview me. So that's what we're going to do. So to give you an intro first for him, because he's like my first guest too. This is my husband. We've been married for 14 years.
Around 14
It'll
years.
It'll be 14 in February.
It's crazy.
It's super exciting. We have one daughter.
One dog.
One dog. We like ones.
One house.
One house. We have one house.
2 cars.
That's true. We do have 2 cars. But they're different cars.
They are different cars. Yeah.
Scott's pretty amazing. And I will bring him on again for sure in February. Because February I really want to talk about our story.
Yes, of course.
So you'll hear more about him and more from him. For sure.
I was just going to say, you look incredible, though. You look very pretty, so.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how to take that. I mean, I'm really
That's
grateful.
good.
I'm glad you find that I'm...
You're very pretty.
Pretty.
Yeah. I think you're pretty.
So I'm going to let you...
Oh, yes.
I'm really bad at saying This is something that I need to work on, and I will. This podcast is a work in progress.
I think only when you're being recorded. In real life, you're never like,
Or do you just not notice?
Ooh.
Now you're going to notice.
And I'll be like, Sarah?
1, 2, 3. You'll just start counting
Keep a little
them.
journal.
Keep a jar.
Yes.
Every time I say, please
a penny?
don't. I don't have any coins. Actually, I do.
Pennies.
Randomly, I have coins and...
That's true. Well, and
yeah,
pennies
pennies
are
gone.
Hey, so
that's
that
not gonna
idea's
help.
gone, yeah.
You know what we should do with pennies? I know this is super random, but have you ever seen... Where did I see it? Somebody had taken pennies and used them as tiles on a floor.
Oh, yeah, I've seen a lot of people do that. That's
They're not
a lot.
worth anything. Well, now they can just... I mean, there's really not a ton of copper on those anyway.
I've seen, but I feel like people have gone way too far with like, what is that called? What's that mixture that people put over it?
Epoxy?
People go
I have
nutty over
seen
that
some
stuff.
crazy videos
Yeah.
lately of
Like,
people doing epoxy, like putting flowers in their epoxy floor.
Yeah, I was just going to say that, yeah. I saw one where they had like a whole log.
I think I saw that too.
Okay, guys.
It's gorgeous, but I always wonder about the resale. And I guess, really you shouldn't think so much about the resale value if you don't live in your house. But are people going to love it if they resell it in 5 years?
Someone looking specifically for an epoxy log.
Okay, this is also really... This is just how the podcast is going to go.
No.
Did you... So you know how the Home Alone house...
Yes.
was recently sold, and it was sold for a ton of money, but I saw pictures of the inside of that house. It looks nothing like the original Home Alone set. They completely changed it, and I feel like they did it such a disservice because I think what they were trying to do is they opened it up, because that's like the huge HGTV thing, is to open up a house. And I do love an open floor plan, but sometimes the house is not meant for an open floor plan. And I think that the way that the house flowed already, according to Home Alone, I thought it was great. And so they took all that away. Now it's like the whole house is completely white. It's just white. White walls, white countertops, white everything. It just seems very plain. So they didn't sell it
as is.
No.
They updated it.
Why
would you do that? Yeah,
to the
weird.
Home Alone house. Like,
okay.
I can see updating it, but I would have kept a lot of original features, because it is the Home Alone house. It's going to sell no matter what.
Yeah.
But
that's so funny. Well, yeah, we will get started. Sarah even told me, she was like, you should write down some questions or do it on the fly. And I didn't write down questions, but we can do it on the fly, because that's even better. So I think when starting off something, especially a podcast, people should get to know who is presenting, right? You're going to be the face of this podcast. I think, though, you've had a very long journey with... we did a podcast before. You've done blogging for a long time. You've done online yoga. So I think the first question is, what is going to be different with this podcast? Why are you, I guess, first off, why are you starting this podcast?
It's a great question.
Thank you.
And I don't know if there's a simple answer. Maybe there is, and I just like to long-winded. Who knows? This is gonna bother me now.
Don't do it. Yeah, just don't let it worry you. It's fine.
So figuring out what messages I want to put out into the world has been a huge journey. I actually took a long break from blogging for a couple years. So after we ended Create Now / the Comte Creative. So little backstory for those who don't know what this is. We started a business, but it started out as a podcast back in 2019? I think it was when was that? Was it while you were in Afghanistan that we started it? No, we can't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Well, you came home in 2020, so I think we started in 2019.
That sounds right.
And we originally started the podcast as just a fun way to keep in touch with each other, because he was overseas and I was not. And we thought it was a fun way to creatively... I don't know.
Stay in touch.
Stay in touch. I mean, we were staying in touch. We were Skyping like morning and night anyway, because we just can't get enough of each other. But yeah, I think that's kind of how it started. But the whole goal with Create Now and the Comte Creative was to help inspire people to be more creative. So we would have really cool guests on the podcast. Like we had artists, we had songwriters, we had a sex therapist on, which was kind of cool.
We did have a sex therapist.
We had a makeup artist who talked a ton about Halloween makeup and haunted houses, which was super cool. We had a long time ago I worked at a martial arts academy, and we had my old boss on who talked about martial arts, but also he works a lot in music, so that was such a cool
I guess it was kind of a small business minded.
It was like small business, creative.
Yeah. Because we lived in a small, when I got home, we moved to a small town in Missouri, and we invited like a random person from...
Oh, yeah. In the community, there's this really cool place. Now I can't remember what that was called.
Brick District.
Yeah, it was in the Brick District, but what was the name of the store?
Canoe. Man. Oh, you're right. Two Canoes?
Two Canoe or something like that. And so we invited one of the artists who worked at the store. And it was a really cool store because they worked a lot with anthropology. So that was a really fun podcast. And we ended it because we tried to venture into other things to generate income, and
yeah.
it didn't quite work out, so we needed to find another stream of income, basically. And that was back in 2020 that we ended it. And then we ended up getting pregnant, and I still tried to podcast and do certain things, but after having Berkeley, it got a little bit more difficult, especially after we moved back to Missouri. That's a whole thing too.
Yeah,
we moved from Missouri to Pennsylvania, back to Missouri. Now we're back in Pennsylvania. So we have a problem with moving. We have a problem.
We have problems.
So, I mean, the question you had is what makes this podcast different? And it's obviously not about creativity. I mean, there's creativity involved in it. I want to invite some really awesome creatives on, so that it's Life by Sara. And I really just want to talk more about life. So I used to listen to this podcast years ago, and you might know what I'm going to say. It was called The Nitty Gritty Show, and it was done... It was done by these two people in Utah. One owns Bam Bam's in Orem, and the other one was like his brother-in-law who worked in finance. He was an accountant or something. And it was my favorite podcast because they would invite small business owners, usually from Utah, onto their show, and the way that they would interview and just talk about stuff. So it wasn't always necessary. I mean, they talked about like how they got into their business. But it was so fun because you got a really cool behind the scenes look that I don't think that you would get from a regular podcast. And that's kind of what I want to do with this. Is it's more about stories and life, and I want to bring creatives and people who are passionate about different things onto the podcast, but talking more about the journeys and the chaos and the miracles and all the really cool things that come out of that. Really more the life stories.
Love that. Yeah, and the reason I laugh is you always bring up the nitty gritty.
I love that. I wish they were doing it, but I think they got really busy.
It happens.
Yeah.
What were we going to say, though? What else? Or is that it?
I was going to say something, and now I don't remember.
Oh, sorry. But I guess from that, the listener, if you know of someone that is, willing to be a guest, or would be willing to tell their life story, things like that, that's I think that's what Sarah's looking for, right?
Yes.
So I guess kind of capitalize on that. So if someone wants to say, hey, I know a creative, or I'm a creative, how would they reach out to you to be a guest?
The easiest way is to go onto my website, which is saraanncomte.com, and Sara is with no H, so it's SaraAnncomte .com. And I'll put this information in the show notes too, so it's easy to find. But
perfect.
Yeah, that's the easiest. And then just go to contact and you can send me a message.
And then that's awesome. And I would totally say that you should do that, because I think a podcast like this, starting out, it's nice to have people that are just regular people that have amazing life stories. I think a lot of times, like you're saying, the nitty gritty, right? It's these local Utah people, or I listen to a lot of podcasts too, and it's stories that are like very large. It's these national stories. And I think for me, I connect better with individuals that are like me, right? I'm like, okay, I'm not, overseas anymore. I'm not like involved heavily in these things, but I'm a regular person that's working. I gravitate more to that. So I guess that comes to the next question, is if I'm a listener, I'm just someone listening, why would I listen to your podcast? What's going to, bring me in? What is your podcast about that would make me want to listen to it?
Thank you for asking that question.
You're welcome. I asked the hard-hitting questions.
They're good questions. These are the important questions that you put in like the marketing and everything, right? I would say that it's the real life connections. So there's another podcast that I really love lately.
Okay.
It's the Comeback Podcast, and this is a it's become like the new thing that I listen to all the time. And it's people who we're members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, aka Mormon Church. And some people have, because of different reasons, they've decided to leave the church or they become inactive. And these are the people who come on these podcasts are people who have become active again, who have decided to come back to church, and their stories are so incredible. And they might seem simple to them, I don't know, but like I connect with them because even though I haven't necessarily left, I have had my own faith crisis and have had questions and doubts, and I've had to overcome those through my own experiences. And so I really and that's really where it comes in, is it's all about connection. So Life by Sara is about stories, real life stories that people can connect with. So we'll bring on guests who will share theirs, and then I'll be doing some solo episodes as well. That's me just sharing my life experiences and things that I've learned that I'm hoping can help somebody else out there. It really comes down to it's real. Why listen to Life by Sara? Because it's real. Like I'm not creating fluff. I'm trying to create meaningful content that people can connect with and gain insight from. Maybe there's those Me Too moments that I hope people will have.
I really love that, because I also see a lot of, and maybe I feel like I'm becoming an old man, but there's a lot of social media out there that are these younger people that just create content out of drama and like just fake things, and it's just so, and there's even, I listen to a lot of politics for no reason, but it's the same, where it's just a lot of fluff, like you're saying, and it's just very fake, and it's all about clicks, and it's all about, so I think for you, that's why I want to listen to it. I'm very excited actually for you to do this, because it's these, these really genuine stories. And so I think I might have asked these questions out of order, but another great question I think is, you said Life by Sara, and I'm kind of cheating because I know that it's more than that. So how does that break down? Is every episode just about life? Is there other things about, like, is it just about creativity? Because I know on your website you have, different aspects to your website, right? Like yoga or blogging or writing or, baking. I don't know. You just have a lot of different talents. So when it comes to the blog, what are you specifically talking about? Does that make sense?
Yes, I think so. So this is not a yoga podcast. I'm not going to say I won't talk about yoga, but it's not going to be like
strictly yoga.
Yeah. It'll be more like life insights that we can gain from these things. So I consider myself a multi-passionate person. I have a lot of likes, a lot of things I really enjoy doing, maybe to my detriment.
As we all do.
It's hard for me to pick a lane, but I also think that most people are like that.
For sure.
And sometimes I think that we don't do certain things because we're like, I don't have the talent for it. And I really wish that we could get past that and say, I'm going to do it anyway because I enjoy doing it, or I enjoy learning about it, or I want to. So it's really talking about being a multi-passionate person and how that relates to life. Like where does it take us? What are we learning? What are we gaining from that? So for me, for example, I'm interested in yoga, obviously, writing. I bake a lot. I am very interested in gardening, although don't ask me any advice on that because I need to ask other people advice on that kind of thing. But I want to have a garden. I enjoy singing. I don't know, what are some other things that I craft a lot. I'm a mom. Yeah, these are really important things to me. I'm a mom. Yeah. I'm a wife, a homeowner. I've had some crazy life experiences that have obviously led me from Utah all the way to Pennsylvania.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
So it's not necessarily about like writing. This isn't a podcast about being an author. This isn't a podcast about being a yogi. This is a podcast about life. Like what makes us who we are. These creativity, these passions, these experiences, these things that we enjoy that make us special and human and help us to progress to what our Heavenly Father is molding us into.
Love that. Because I think too, when it comes to, life stories, how you put it, because you aren't, how to put that delicately, you aren't the youngest person, but you aren't extremely old either. And I think that's really important when it comes to life stories, is that it doesn't matter where you are in life, you have a story, right? So you can be, a grandma of, 13 grandkids, or someone in high school. You've been through things, and so I think that's why this podcast is so relatable to everyone, is that it's not just, you have to be 38 and you have to know, you've been through the ringer to listen to this podcast or to be on this podcast. It's, everyone's had life happen to them, right? And so that's what's really meaningful about this podcast, I think. Again, that's why I'm excited.
Can I interject? So
please.
I was just thinking about how, so I have taken a few blogging courses, free, some paid for.
Right. And
all the advice that I keep getting from anything is like niche down, niche down, niche down. And
right.
They're really looking at like, really talk about like autism, my kid with autism, or crafting with glue. Like, they're really trying hard to get specific, and I have tried so hard to get extremely specific, and I finally came to the realization that it's not necessarily about being specific, but having something that you really truly enjoy talking about. And for me, it really comes to, I enjoy talking about life things, life lessons, experiences, the journey, and that involves a lot of different aspects, like the passions and things that I do, but it really comes down to just life stories. And sometimes it's really hard to define on SEO.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So I hope it makes sense, but I'm really here to just share, and I'm not gonna get so crazy nitpicky trying to reach an SEO audience that I forget that I'm trying to talk about something real.
I love that. That's cool. I also think pause.
I don't know why. It's like, I'm recording here. Why is the screen going out?
I did have a thought too. I was like, maybe we should have tested it to see.
That's just how I work. I go by the seat of my pants.
Hey-o.
Somehow this is all going to work out.
I love it. All right. So I think another question, because we are talking right before recording, and I was like, maybe I should be thinking of questions. Is what is a, I guess I don't want you to spill the beans though, but what is a quick background for you? Like, where are you coming from?
What do you mean spill the beans?
Well, I think because, you want to do an episode like in February about our married life, right? Uh-huh. And so I don't want you to give like too many details.
But like, it's kind of an overview. I mean,
and that's so hard too, because I think your life is you have a very long, very just...
There's a lot of stuff that happened.
Yes. And so without going in too much detail, how about this? If you had to give 5 highlights of your life, what would they be?
Oh, boy.
On the spot.
On the spot.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could do them in order, but...
Not in order, but like just 5
like
that you think...
That,
like, that have defined you.
That defined me.
Yeah.
I married you.
Hey.
I mean, that's a huge thing. Almost married, 14 years.
Crazy. Yeah.
It's been an awesome 14
Never looked
back.
back.
It's been an adventurous 14 years. It's been an awesome
That's
14 years.
a
I wouldn't
good
do
word
it
to
with
use.
anybody else.
Ew.
We had Berkeley. That was a major thing. And I'll talk more about this, I'm sure, in future episodes, but it was a journey to get Berkeley. Mm-hmm. We went through infertility for years, and she's our miracle baby.
Miracle, for sure.
Let's see. I went to college.
Hey!
I got a degree.
What did you go to college for?
I have a degree in English creative writing with a technical communication certificate.
And we all know what that means.
Fancy. So really what that means is I wanted to get an editing minor, but when I went to my counselor, she's like, well, they only offer the editing classes in these semesters, so it's a little bit hard to get the editing minor. And I was like, well, I want to graduate, so
I'm not going to live here the rest of my life.
So she's like, another option is to get a technical communications certificate, which is kind of like an editing minor. And it was actually pretty cool because I took editing classes, but I also took design classes. So I learned a lot how to use Adobe InDesign and about layout design. I took a really weird class that was...
We don't talk about that class.
It was a weird class. It's supposed to be on like
Sculpting.
Communications, but it was like we had to pretend that we were on an island and create some sort of booklet about us getting off the island. It was weird. It was a weird class, and most of the people in that class were IT majors. And I think there were only like 2 of us that were English majors, and all the IT people were so upset with that class. One of the guys was like, I am transferring to BYU next semester and they won't even accept this credit because of the syllabus. Yeah.
Wow, that's so crazy. So that's
3.
3?
I went on a mission. That's a pretty big one. So I served
really
a proselyting mission for our church. I went to South Korea, and I was there for almost a year and a half. I always say almost a year, because I technically was on my mission for a year and a half, but I spent like 3 months in the MTC, which is the Missionary Training Center. I don't think they do that anymore. They've really changed a lot about how they do the missionary training. But at the time, I was learning Korean, and it's one of the harder languages to learn. Not as hard as Mandarin.
Oof.
Or Russian. I would say that those are a lot harder than Korean. But what makes Korean hard is that the grammar is backwards. Meaning, so like in...
So they speak backwards English?
They speak backwards English. If you know Pig Latin, no.
Ute.
No, it's... So in English we say...
the cat is black.
Yeah, so what is that?
So it's like Yoda speak... Black the cat is.
So it's usually subject, verb, object. So, but in Korean, the verb is always at the end of the sentence with some modifiers and things to it.
The Lord knew exactly where to send an English major.
It was actually amazing because I feel like when learning Korean helped me understand English better. I came back and it was like, oh, that's how you use the semicolon, because they have this word in Korean that acts as a semicolon, like when in speech. And so then when I came back, I was like, I totally understand the semicolon now.
Huh. That's cool.
But it did get me very confused about adjectives, because in Korea, some adjectives are verbs. So I came back and I was like, is that a verb or an adjective? I figured it out eventually.
Nice. Fifth one? You didn't.
Oh yeah, a 5th one.
The 4 are good. Those were really defining moments.
I would say that a lot of my jobs were pretty defining. I grew a lot in all the different jobs.
That's good.
That I had.
What was your favorite job and worst job?
Oh boy.
Just kidding. Don't answer that.
Yeah, because I feel like some people would be offended.
Wait a second. That's me. Yeah, you don't have to. That's a loaded question.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite family member?
Oh.
And who's the one that you don't like?
Oh boy.
Yeah, those are kind of the biggest questions. I feel like if I was a listener, I would want to know those, I guess. I think another thing I guess I would like to know is, because life can be, I guess, a little messy. How are you going to to handle that. So
like keep going.
yeah. So or how about this? in the sense of what is the schedule going to be like? So is it like a podcast every day?
No.
Every month?
No.
Is it once a year?
Well, every month,
kind
yes.
of thing?
So the plan is to do it twice a month.
Okay.
So those who listen, if you listen to my blog, I'm pretty amazed and I want to know how you do it. But if you read my blog, that actually is going to move down to once to twice a month. I think twice a month until I start yoga, which I don't know when that's going to be. Those who are looking for yoga from me again, it'll come.
It might become, yeah.
I don't know when.
Watch out.
I'm trying to take things slow because I know that I get pretty preoccupied with other stuff that's going on at home.
Of course.
And my family is my number one priority. Berkeley is my number one priority. And so this I want to do, and I really want to make it work because it's my thing. So I'm trying to do everything in a way that's not going to overwhelm me and that'll actually keep doing it. So the blog and the podcast are going to alternate. Thank you. I was like, what's that word? I know words.
It's the Korean. Again,
so the podcast will come out every other week.
Cool.
I think it's the first and third Thursday every month. First and third.
You
Thursday.
heard it here first, people. And then what are is there going to be like an average time, or is it going to be structured, or is it just like this, like just kind of
depends,
whatever, hanging out?
I have tried so hard to structure certain things. Like, I'm going to post every day to Instagram, and these are the type of things I'm going to post. And do you know how often I post to Instagram? Not very much.
Twice.
I did post today. I did post
awesome.
something today. But it won't be a 2-hour episode. I can promise you that.
Yeah, that's a lot. Oof. Maybe it's a really
if it's
crazy
a really
guess.
good interview.
Yeah.
But I also only have so much bandwidth on my podcast platform that I'm using. So
that's true.
I think I've only got 3 hours a month, so can't go over that.
Sign up to Patreon to help support the podcast.
Maybe someday.
Okay, I already asked you about how people could be on the podcast or how they could suggest, but where can they find your content? Like just in the blog, the podcast, where can they find you?
My website, saraancomte.com. I'm also on Instagram, Sara Ann Comte, and Facebook, Sara Ann Comte.
Nice.
And I'm on TikTok, Sara Ann Comte.
Hey,
I'm on Twitter somewhere too, but TikTok I am trying to get into. Twitter I'll probably never post to, even though I have something. I just haven't figured out what I want. I've never gotten into Twitter. I've had a Twitter account for years, and it's just...
I don't get it. I have a coworker that absolutely loves Twitter.
Some people do, and I have read a lot of books that are like that Twitter is such a great place for writers, but I just have not gotten into it. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. So the videos of this podcast are also on YouTube. If you're like, I'd like to watch a video and see Sarah's eyes. I don't know why. But
gorgeous. That's why.
So if you want to, I'm on YouTube. The channel is Sara Ann Comte.
I mean, let's get it in the comments, but just look at the camera. Look at that face. I've always thought you've had like a movie star face. But anyway.
I have been told I look like. I mean, I don't think I'd be told this anymore, but was told once I look like Kirsten Dunst. I was told once I look not Kristen Stewart. I've never been told I look like Kristen Stewart. Kirsten Dunst.
To all the fans out there, sorry.
One time I was in the temple and I was I was sitting in the chapel, and then we were walking to the endowment room, and this older man, he goes, I looked over at you and I thought you were Reese Witherspoon for a minute. I was like, Reese Witherspoon is a member going to the temple?
He was also shocked. That's well, that leads to a few other good questions. What are some of your... Oh, but you already made a blog about it.
You can ask me. It's okay. Maybe
the
people
top
haven't read
books And your top movies.
Oh. Well, I mean, that was like my top teen books. My favorite books. Peter Pan. I love Peter Pan.
Yeah, I could have answered that. That's good.
I do love Peter Pan. I really love The False Prince by Jennifer A. Nelson.
Yeah.
I think I've read that book a couple times, and she has 5 books now in that series.
Oh wow, does she really?
Yeah.
Huh.
I devoured the last 2 when we moved back to Missouri the last time.
Did you ever rebuy those books?
No, we have 1, 4, and 5 because we had them all, but Scott took them to Afghanistan and water leaked from the roof, and
sad.
we went to the books, which is sad. Well, that's kind of how we buy books.
It's true. Anyway,
I have a lot of series that are missing books.
Or we have our one series, the Darren Shan series, that has like multiple.
Yeah, that's because of the way that it came. It's so weird.
What about top movies? And before you answer, I do think I think some people judge others by these answers, or maybe they don't, or it might tell a lot about someone. But I always find it fascinating what people's responses are to like top books and top movies. So.
Well, obviously my books were fiction. I do read nonfiction too. I do.
That's a good thing.
I read all types of books, but
Peter Pan is such a good classic.
Well, and I like any retelling. If there's a new retelling of the story, I'm like, I have to read it. I have to see it. And one day, I have a version in my head that someday I will write.
Love that. That's secret.
Yeah.
You heard it here first. Anyway. So, favorite movies.
Favorite movies. That one's hard, but that you might expect.
She's the Man.
Oh, yes. I love She's the Man.
Back
I haven't
to the
really
Future.
been into it as much lately, though, but for a long time, She's the Man was like my...
Yeah, you would always say that.
When I was sad, I would watch that movie. But I haven't really... I don't know. Maybe I got older. Spider-Man.
Rambo. Oh, yep.
I love every Spider-Man movie. Well, I should say every Spider-Man movie
Too
since
late.
the 1990s.
Too late.
The Tobey Maguire
That's a
movie,
lot.
obviously, because that came out. The first movie came out when I was in high school, a senior in high school, and I loved every single one of them. And then, of course, Andrew Garfield, and then Tom Holland, and then I was really happy when they brought them all into one movie.
It's pretty good.
I watched that a few times. Was very excited.
If all 3 of them had a fight, who do you think would win?
Andrew Garfield.
Wow, that was fast.
Actually,
too.
I don't know. Like, maybe, I don't think it would be Tobey Maguire. Although he wouldn't run out of webs.
See, I was just gonna say.
But
And
Tom
he's
Holland
angry.
is technically
like
more
he's
agile than the other ones too.
You're looking at like age. Yeah.
Well, no, he does gymnastics. Like, he does a lot of the stunts, so he's a lot more agile.
wait. I don't know. We're talking Spider-Man, not
Spider-Man.
like the actual
Not the actors. It's hard to distinguish. They are Spider-Man.
That's true. Or how about
think about this.
all 3 actors find themselves in
I
a
think
back
it would
alley.
be Andrew Garfield, though. Like, if you're just talking about Spider-Man and not the actor, I think it would be Andrew Garfield, Spider-Man.
Wow. That's okay. That is a hot take there.
Because if they're in a fight, I think he has more angst.
See, I always thought Tobey Maguire did.
Only if he's got venom inside him. Without the venom, he has no angst.
These are the types of questions you'll find on this podcast. These are very deep. So,
Favorite food? I don't know. I don't know what my favorite food is. I don't know anymore.
well, too late. What's
Dang it.
your favorite food?
I do love my favorite dessert, though. It's chocolate chip cookies. Dark chocolate chip cookies.
It's very simple, but it's good.
For my birthday this next year, I want a Pizookie.
That's right. What about how about favorite genre of food? So if you had to, if it was like almost like Desert Island,
If I had to just go,
or Death Row, and it's like your last meal, and they're like, we have Chinese, Italian, Mexican, Peruvian, Brazilian.
So I don't know if I have like a favorite genre, but I have favorites of each genre.
Oh no. Okay.
So that's hard.
See, that's why I didn't want to ask you. I feel like favorite food. It's
Favorite
a lot
food
like
is
favorite
hard.
movies.
That's
Favorites
true.
in general.
That's hard.
Maybe they get more difficult the older you
When
get.
you're a kid, it's easy because you're like, this is
Pizza.
right now. You know, you ask Berkeley what her favorite color is, and she will always say yellow and pink
that's
every
true.
time. Pink and yellow, pink and yellow, pink and yellow, pink and yellow.
Well, I guess you don't, because I have coworkers that I talk to, and I feel like I'm getting to that point of like I'm that type of dad, where I've never wanted to be, but I'm always like, Berkeley did the funniest thing yesterday. I'm like, oh crap. I'm like, well, I guess you guys don't have kids, so sorry, except JJ. But anyway,
I mean, she's a big part of your life.
she is. So, but I feel like that's gonna be. I feel like she'll probably pop up in
Probably. She's just too cool.
Yeah, she is pretty. Speaking of Home Alone,
Oh my goodness.
you should tell them about.
Her obsession this Christmas has been Home Alone. I actually had to stop her. I've had to stop her from watching it.
Sad.
Well, I feel like she's been having nightmares.
Of being left home alone.
Yeah. Well, then she'll ask us questions all the time about it. Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, we're not going to leave you home. Or, like, she watched Home Alone 2, and she's like, are you going to leave me at the airport? It's like, no, we're not going to do that. She's 4.
Yeah.
Just like barely 4. She had her birthday
Barely,
a couple weeks ago.
She's so silly. But you can't tell her that she's silly. She hates being called silly.
You say, you're silly. And she's like, I don't want to be silly. I don't know if she just doesn't understand what silly is.
No clue.
But she always says that.
Yeah, right after dinner, we had to reenact
We had to reenact
the
Home
first
Alone.
one. And then she was like, if you're thirsty for more, are you thirsty for more? I was like, oh, okay. She knows this movie too well.
That was our Christmas. Our Christmas holiday.
It was just
A
Home Alone.
lot of December was Home
1 and
Alone.
2.
Yeah.
None
we
of
would,
the other. None
we
of the
wouldn't
other
let her
ones,
watch the others.
But
We told her those weren't really Home Alone.
we stick with the classics here. What about what's been, because we've moved around a lot.
Yeah.
What's been your? Well, I guess I already know that. But what's been your favorite place?
Missouri.
Missouri. We actually talked about it yesterday.
It was really hard to move from Missouri. We had a lot of land, a house that needed to be fixed up a lot, but I really liked the area. I think we had a lot of really awesome dreams for that. We loved the people. Missouri's my favorite place.
Mm.
If I could move back anywhere, it would be Missouri.
Yeah. Me too, actually. See, and I think that's another interesting thing about your life is how many places have we lived and how many people, have we met, connected with. We've been, so we're LDS, so we've been with a lot of different church groups. How many, kind of go through that real quick.
How many places we've lived?
Yes.
Okay, so just really fast, and we'll probably go over this again in a couple more podcasts, but because it has to do with our whole story.
Yes.
So when we first got married, we lived I was in Utah and you were in Texas still because, that's a whole thing. And then we met up in California, so California's one. We lived there for about a month and a half, and then we moved to Washington State, and we lived there for a little over a year and a half.
A year and a half, I think.
And then we moved back to Utah, lived with my parents for a little bit, and then we moved to Saratoga Springs to a townhouse that we bought. And we sold that, and we moved in with your brother for a few months, and then we bought the house in Eagle Mountain. And then we sold that, and I moved in with my parents while you were deployed. And
To
then Kuwait. And then we moved me into a house in Draper while you were in Afghanistan. And during the pandemic, I moved back with my parents. And then we moved to Missouri when you got home. And then we moved to Pennsylvania, and then back to Missouri, and now Pennsylvania. That's 13.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's
those are good questions, and I think that's a lot to digest for people listening. So maybe give you the last, kind of hand it back over to you for an outro.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone, again for listening in. I really appreciate it, and I'm really very excited about the podcast and what we'll be talking about here. And if you have any suggestions or if you want to be on the podcast, be sure to send me a message on my website. Just go to saraancomte.com and go to the contact form, send me a message. You can also DM me on Instagram if you want, Facebook. Find me on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at Sara Ann Comte. And that is it.
Woo!
Thanks, everyone. Have a great